All right, we're out here at Arroyo Seco Raceway, taking the Supra out for their local time attack. It's called Super Lap, and we're gonna try and see if we can get in the 113s, but anything over under 120 is pretty good here, considered, you know, sub 120 club. So we're gonna start off with V730s and practice sessions till lunchtime. So we'll do some of that, and then we'll maybe put on different tires and try and go faster with the RE71 RS. But yeah, it's beautiful weather here, a little breezy, but it's only in the 60s, so far so good. All right, we'll see how it goes. So right after I made that hot lap there, my first hot lap at Arroyo Seco in the Supra, and made that left turn there into turn 1, there was a chime. And looking over at the dash, or I should say the center stack, it says chassis issue, reduced power, and yeah, that's when things kind of went south on me. So got back to the pits and started trying to figure out what it is. Could have been a couple things, and so distracted by that I didn't actually record a video talking about, you know, what I tried to figure out, or, you know, that lap and what I thought of my session. So the answer is the first session I went out, I got, you know, the way they track in through kind of the drag strip area, your first lap doesn't even really count. It's really just an out lap. And then my first hot lap, even though I gapped quite a bit, just because it's practice, there's a lot of cars on track, I ended up catching right up to a couple cars. Didn't get anything clean. I think I ran like a 130 or something. And then I had that hot lap, and then immediately the car went, you know, had the chassis code. So of course I pulled off. I didn't really want to push my luck and actually, you know, push the car hard and find out something's broken. So went out, and this is that next session. I kind of went out right away after I took off the wheels and didn't see anything immediately wrong. So I decided let's reset the battery, go back out, and see what happens. So that was the second session, and as you saw, it didn't really go well either. The car, because of the chassis code, is randomly doing things like hitting the brakes, entering in the front straight because it feels that missing or dead shock in the left front and actually hits the brakes, which causes understeer. So I have a hard time even getting onto the front straight. And so I do manage to run I think a 116. I think the lap I captured there was even a 117. Got a few laps in, there was some traffic, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to drive around the problems. I'm thinking that's my only choice for the day. And sure enough, after that video, I actually pulled everything off again and found the culprit, which was the left front shocks EDC, which is the electronic dampening force canceller, which is an aftermarket part I have on there to trick it so it doesn't know that I've deleted the shock and put in coilovers. It had broken off its connector, so their connector was gone. So I'll show you in a video after my actual hot lap that happened in competition, but long story short, and why this video has the title it has, is a Burrito Wrapper came to the rescue, and we were able to fix the issue long enough that I could take my hot laps and run competition. And so the way it is, it's just you get a 2 hot lap format and then you go right at it, and here's that video.
Good job carrying speed. Apex. Next right, looking apex. Nice work.
Alright, it's a little dark in some spots here, so I'm going to try and move the light around, but you can see this wire that's coming off of here. Let's see if I can get the light here. It's coming off this wire is the electronic dampening control. It comes off, it comes down, and it actually wires off, and one of them is, I think it's this yaw sensor or whatever this sensor is that I have zip tied here, and it splits right below there, and this is our actual Burrito Wrapper fix. And why, you ask, a burrito wrapper? Well, that's a great question. It's pretty obvious once you realize its proximity to the heat, and that is that it's going to get very, very hot. So the connector off the ASR broke. I still have it. See if I can not lose it. This was the stock connector that it attached to, and so we, and that being Grant, snipped it off for me, and then stripped back the wire and twisted. You know, we had to figure out what was the pairing. There's only two elements, two conductors. Luckily, we figured out blue to yellow and white to something else. I think it was green. We just twisted together. Thankfully, their other friend, I can't remember his name right now, had some electrical tape. Electrical taped them independently and then together. And then the important part is the burrito wrapper to give it some heat shielding. And as terrible as this looked, it worked. We were able to get 2 full sessions, or sorry, 2 full laps. So 1 session, which is the actual competition runs for the Super Lap. So as you saw, that's what we did to fix it. And yeah, very happy that we were able to get laps in. You know, even if you don't do well, it's just very frustrating to be on the sideline or trying to drive around something that not only doesn't let you turn off traction control, but actually is very aggressive about saving you, especially in right-hand turns, because it knows that shock is dead. So it was hitting the brakes when I'd enter the what I call the front straightaway, the shorter straightaway at the track where the start-finish line is. And also, it was not allowing it to run. It was in basically a limp mode tune, so it was probably making less than 400 wheel horsepower. And so, yeah, when I did get those practice laps, sorry for that, when I did get those practice laps, I was only getting them at partial power, and so it was very hard to deal with the car. And then suddenly, for a total of 4 laps, or really 3 good laps, that I got on power on a track I don't know. So I'm hoping that, you know, we go back down there next time and have a better shot at it, because we'll get some actual practice in. I didn't get to adjust the shocks. I didn't even put on better tires. We ran these, it's pretty, you know, relatively small for a Supra with this kind of power when you have other tires sitting around at 275. Kumho V730. We had brought the Bridgestone 71 RS, just didn't get a chance to slap them on because waited for things to cool down. By the time the repair was over, lunch was over. It was a driver's meeting for the time attack, and then you have to go stage. So glad to get to participate. Glad it worked out. Ended up with a decent lap down there, and taking the winning classy and the fastest time of the day overall. But makes you want to go back, and that's what the fun part of this sport is, you know, there's always more. Always could have done better. As you'll see in the videos, you know, definitely made mistakes, like between the tuning and the chassis tuning and my driving. So go back out. We have another event in a week and another event 2 weeks after that. So videos should keep coming regularly. If you have any questions, comments, I'd love to read more comments. Questions about the car, autocross setup, time attack setup, generally things we do, what we work on. This track was pretty interesting in that it was the slow section's very much an autocross. So you're basically, for your autocrosses, you're backsighting a lot of these turns to try and cash in as you get onto the front straight after the S's. Sorry, it's the back straight to me, the long straight. And so trying to maximize mile per hour there, and then cut distance and set up for the right-hander, which track guys will be familiar with, into the front straightaway at start-finish line. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll see you next time.